Super good. Now let's move on here and start working the arms of this evil witch. So once again, we'll start with a magic ring. And you will work 6 single crochet inside the magic ring. It's very simple here how you will work the arms, and very fast also. And because it's a very small detail, let's work here together and kind of slow. So let's work here the 6 single crochet inside the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Let's close this magic ring. All right. And here now for the second round, you will work 6 single crochet again. Okay, so 6 single crochet on top of the previous 6 single crochet. I want to work here together with you because it's a small detail, but you know, it's very simple. Look at here, just work the 6 single crochet. And once you're done, the shape will be looking like this. Now we will change the yarn, okay, to the black, and you will work for round 3 and 4, 6 single crochet. But I will fast stop here. All right, because I want to show you one thing. Now we can cut this green. We don't need it anymore. All right, I will give it a knot here in the greens and in the black and everything, so everything is very nice and tight. So let's do the same thing with the black thread. This will be facing inside of the toy, so I'm not worried how pretty it's looking like. And I want to show you here that when you work small pieces, they are curling to the outside of the toy. So you're probably facing with the wrong side facing out. Okay, so let's cut this thread. We don't need this, so it's not confused. Here, this is what I want to show you. See, it's on top of it, so the wrong side is facing out. So we just organize these stitches here. We make the right side to be out. And you can see that the shape also have changed when you organize the stitches. And you continue working the next rounds only with 6 single crochet. You can now follow the pattern here, and we'll just work the single crochet, and I will catch you up here once you finish the round number 4. Super good. Now for round number 5, you will work 3 single crochet. So here you go. You have 6 single crochet, right? Oh, you have 6 single crochet. You will fold it in half, and you have 3 on one side, 3 on the other side, and you work those sides together. Okay? So this is my first stitch. The first might be a little bit tricky because they are very close to each other, the first stitch and the last one, but then the other two are very easy. And now we have this tiny little hand, look at this. We can cut the yarn, leaving here a bit of space for sewing. All right. And we make another one. Ta-da! I have one here ready. Super good. Now let's move on here and work the hat. This hat is very nice. I like the shape of this hat. We will start again with a magic ring, and you will work 6 single crochet inside a magic ring. Okay, you already know how it's done. You have done this a couple of times. So I trust by this time magic ring is a piece of cake for you. And let's work here the 6 single crochet before moving on for the next round. Remember, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all the informations you need, it's in the written pattern. All right, on the website. The link is in the description and also in the first comment of this toy, of this video. For round 2 and 3, you will work again 6 single crochet inside each stitch. 1 single crochet inside each stitch, so 6 single crochet only for the next 2 rounds. Okay, remember to organize your stitches. It's a small detail, it can be curled. So once again, here I'm showing you that you may need to make sure that the right side is facing out and the wrong side is facing in. Okay, so continue working here the round 2 and 3, and I will catch you up here for the round number 4. Okay, so you can add here a stitch marker if you need. I like to count on hand when the details are small. So for the round number 4 here you'll work 6 increases and you have a total of 12 stitches. Okay, here it's basic, you already know how it's done. So work around, and this should be looking like this. Alright, so you work once again 2 rounds with 12 single crochet. Alright, so once again you will work 2 rounds here without the increase. For this time the detail is a bit bigger and I will start adding my stitch marker. Okay, so here you can stop, work here 2 rounds, and I will catch you up for the next round. Great, once you complete round 6, this is how it should be looking like, and we'll use the beginning of yarn that you start working here for the hat, or if this yarn is not long enough, just add attached 1 yarn. We will work now the uneven shape of the hat, and this is very simple how it's done. You just grab 1 stitch from the top of the hat and you pull it down 2 rounds under the stitch that you bring the yarn outside, and then you pull this tight until you see the tip of the hat going down. Alright, this is how it should be looking, and once you have the tip going down, you'll just fasten off, like you give it a knot inside so the shape remain, and that's it. It's very simple. Here the idea is to make the hat have this uneven look and like a very used hat. So you just make it some uneven shape and grab and give it a lot of knots with some pieces of yarn. You don't need to necessarily do the way that I'm doing here. For the round number 7, you work here 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat 6 times, and you should have 18 stitches. And once you're done with round number 7, for round number 8, you will work 18 single crochet. So just single crochet here without increase and decrease. We will work again another uneven shape for the hat, forward a little bit more in front, but just for you to have an idea of how we are working here the hat of the witch. Okay, once you complete round 8, for the round 9 you will work 2 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat 6 times, and you should have 24 stitches at the end of this round. So you can see here 1, 2 single crochet, and here is the increase. We repeat all the way around, and once you reach at the end for round number 10, you will work on 24 single crochet. Okay, alright, and I will catch you up for the next step. Okay, so this is how it should be looking like. And now we will stop here again to make on the other side of the hat the same shape here that we did on top. So you're gonna grab a piece of black yarn, like I have it here on a tapestry needle. You will introduce this yarn inside one of the stitch on the side, and you will work the same way you did for the tip of the hat. Okay, and here's even easier, like you can use this technique also for the first part, but since I have already some leftover of the yarn from the beginning of the detail, I did not, I just used that. So here you count 2 rounds going down, bring the yarn to the wrong side of the hat, and now you're just gonna pull it tight these 2 lines and give it a simple knot. Alright, you can see it here, And once you pull it, you see you'll have these two shapes going to pulling the stitches together. You just give a simple knot and cut the remaining, and let's continue for the round number 11. Here you will work 3 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat 6 times, and you should have a total of 30 stitches at the end of this round. So as always here, let's work the first repetition together. Okay, so as you can see it here, 1, 2, 3, and the increase. Okay, repeat all the way around, and once you finish round 11, you work round 12 with 30 single crochet. All right, so work your rounds here and I will catch you up. All right, so once you're done, this is how it's looking like. And now let's continue working here. We will work only in the front loop of the stitch. Okay, so here you have the full stitch, back loop over here, front loop over here. All right, so you will grab only the front loop. So for the round 13, you will work 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat 15 times, and you should have 45 stitches at the end of this round. And remember that here you are working only grabbing the front loop of the stitch. Okay, so let's work here a couple of repetitions together. Front loop only. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. I will be happy to help you. All right, once you finish, we will work now for round number 14, 45 single crochet. Okay, super easy. You can stop the video here, work your round, and I will catch you up once you're done. Super good. So we have it here, the hat of our evil witch. You can cut this yarn, you leave a bit of room for sewing later. And you will fasten off this hat. Okay, so skip one stitch, I introduce my needle on the stitch next to it, and then I grab only the back loop of the last stitch from the round. And then that's it, we have our fastening off. Now you can just make sure that you have some nice and tight knot over here, and with this leftover yarn we will sew this hat later on the witch hat. Okay, super good. Now let's move on. Here we will work the hair of this witch. So with white yarn, I'm working with some kind of off-white here. All the information you need is in the written pattern in the description of this video. You will chain 11. Okay, so let's move fast here, chain 11, and you cut the yarn. That's it. So you pull it this yarn, and you will be left over once you pull this yarn with 10 chains. Okay, I will just secure these chains over here on my table, because what we are going to do for the hair here is that we want a hair that it's not full, so it's she has a bit of lack of hair. All right, so that is the effect that we are searching for. So we'll cut here a couple of yarn. So we have 10 chains, right? So you will work here with 10 pieces of yarn. The exact size is in the written pattern. You can check that out, and you will just introduce this yarn here in one side of the chain. Okay, that's it. Very simple. This is what you're going to do. You will introduce 10 of these hair strings in one side and 10 on the other side of the chain. Okay, I will catch you up for the other side of the chain. So here, as you can see, I add 10 strings of hair in one side, Now we will work on the other side. If you don't want your witch to be with some lack of hair, you can just add more strings over here. But I like that she is not with full hair. Okay? So that's it. Very simple. Alright, now let's assemble this evil witch. So we can see here, find the back side of the witch. And for the cape, you make sure that you have the slip stitches facing outside. Okay, not facing inside. So we will introduce the cape around her neck. So just make sure that you have the back in the center. And this is what we are searching for. What we are going to do here is simple. We will just give a knot here in front with these two remaining yarn that we purposely left. And we will cut this remaining tail. That's it. I cut this with leaving a little bit of yarn under. So we have this effect of the cape. That's optional to you. And I see that it's moving, so I'll just make sure to give a simple stitch once I'm sewing the hands, okay? So now let's just use here a sewing needle, a tapestry needle, whichever needle you're using, and you have 3 stitches, right? Only from the hand to sew on the cape. So that's very basic, super simple. So you sew it, the hand, the arm, right, in the cape. And you'll grab the slip stitches that you left facing the outside of the cape, alright? So you will sew the 3 stitches from the arm with the 3 stitches from the cape. Very simple, super fast, that's how you should do, and I will catch you up once I finish the other one. As you can see it here, I gave 2 small stitches to hold up the the remaining front part of the leftover yarn from the cape. And this is how I like to secure the yarn, alright? You bring it outside inside the same stitch, give a simple knot, and then you hide it inside. This will make sure that the arms are tied together and will not unravel, okay? Now we will sew the hair. You can see it here. We will put the chain stitches in the central part of the head. Let's organize this very well. Let's add this string in the sewing needle. And what I'm going to do here is very simple. I'll just bring this yarn in the central part here of the head. Okay. And sew this, only the chain stitches. Here we will sew in the central part of her head. If you want to know the exact position that I start sewing in which round I'm sewing the hair, you can check out the written pattern in the description of this video, as well as in the first comment here under the video, alright? So bring this yarn over here, and that's it. Just make sure to sew it in the central part also. Now, if you follow me here, you know already that I like to embroider the eyes of my toys. And how I do this, I will be showing you here. I just take thread, black thread, and I make a couple of straight lines with the size of 1 stitch. And these straight lines, once you repeat this movement a couple of times, it will become round like an eye, and you can choose like how big, how many, how large you want, and the shape you want. It's just a matter of how many repetitions you do, okay? But if you're working with safety eyes or with plastic eyes, you can find the exact position I'm embroidering in the written pattern. So you can substitute the embroidery for the plastic eyes, all right? Here I'm just showing you how I like to make the eyes. And as you can see, it's just a matter of many repetitions, and you go leading where the thread it's going with your finger here. So you work a couple of repetitions, and once you figure out the shape that it looks nice for you, you move on for the second one. Okay? And just make sure to tight this thread. Okay, now for the nose, what we are going to do here is we will introduce the green yarn in the central stitch between the eyes. Okay, so this is how I like to do. I just bring it here, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, and then you will skip the first stitch and you start crocheting in the second stitch from the hook, 1 slip stitch, over here 1 single crochet, and on the last chain you work, you will just pull this yarn. You can fasten that yarn with a pin so it will not be moving. And on the last chain here we will work half double crochet. Okay, this is how I like to work. So we don't need to sew it, this we will just need to fasten off. And how you do this is you will bring this yarn with a tapestry needle or with a sewing needle. We will bring this yarn outside to 1 stitch. So let me just put this yarn here to the back of the head, and you'll do the same thing with the other remaining yarn with the beginning thread. Okay, let's take this one and you will bring it behind, and that's how you will work the nose. You can also work this separately and then sew it instead of crocheting together, so you'll just work the chains and then 1 slip stitch, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and then you sew it later. I just like it to work it like this because it's fast. Once you're done with the nose, now it's time to add the head. Okay, and we will sew the head all around her hair, her head. And here just make sure to organize the hair on the back, so you spread a little bit the strings, all right, before you sew it. Here I'll just work a couple of stitches sewing this hat around with you, and after that you can sew it yourself. So here you make sure that you will sew the hat and the head together on the part where the hat just flatten up. So 2 rounds before the edge is where you're gonna sew with the hat and the head. Okay, let's just organize here a bit the hair, because once you sew the hat, of course, the hair will not be moving too much. So just make sure that you spread the hair evenly on the back before you continue sewing the hat. Okay, so I'll just leave it up here. Also, another thing that I do here is I don't sew the hat in every single stitch from the round. I just sew it a couple of them, but a good couple of them, not like 4 stitches, but rather like some 10 or 20 of them. All right, and this is how it should be looking like, and your reach is done. Look at this. Let's organize this back. I hope you enjoyed this pattern. If you'd like more Halloween amigurumi patterns, take a look in the channel. There is a bunch of them. I will see you for the next week. Bye!